A shy girl transfers into a new high school. Isolated, she must overcome her anxiety and build her relationships with both her class and Yugami, the weird guy who sits next to her. This is a logline that could apply to hundreds of different slice-of-life or romance manga, defining the repetitive problem of the genres. Luckily, however, this logline applies to a manga called Yugami-kun Has No Friends. Yes, that is the real name of the series. I did a double take as well. It's a manga that defies all the cliché and generic tropes polluting the medium. Transfer student Chihiro Watanuki struggles to fit in at her new school after being ostracized by her class for associating with the weird kid Yugami. After helping her out of a sticky situation with some third years, Chihiro is convinced that there's some good in his heart and is determined to treat him without any bias. Now, this is not a nice girl helps out antisocial boy. Yugami is content with his life and enjoys his friendless existence. I'd go so far as to argue that he's far happier than most people ever will be. It questions whether his ostracized lifestyle is really so bad. Don't be fooled though, he's still an asshole. A typical chapter of this series contains a small self-contained story, along with points that further along the plot and develop the main characters. Those self-contained stories are awesome, funny, and the selling point of the series. Apart from your usual story beats such as conflict, drama, solution, you have Yugami, who throws a wrench in every popular and cliché slice-of-life trope. Let's take a look at chapter 18 as an example. Chihiro, as usual, is being taken advantage of by Momose and has to clean all by herself. Again.
Do you like cleaning?
What? Not really.
As I thought. Which means you accept it only because you want to be liked by your friends.
I feel like that's what he meant.
Normally you wouldn't have to do that. You got stuck with doing it all by yourself. It's hard, right? A friendship that stresses you out like this isn't good. You've actually already realized that, right? If you keep doing this sort of thing, you'll just be unhappy.
Yugami-kun has rubbed off on me too much. Before I knew it, I've started to think like him. His remarks are in my head.
No, that's not it. My existence is just an excuse. The root lies in your heart.
Shut up! I'm not as strong as Yugami-kun. I'm afraid of being hated if I reject a request.
No excuses. You're just protecting yourself.
I'm getting angrier and angrier now.
The reader is led to believe that Yugami is right, and Chihiro's inability to stand up for herself is the cause of her problems. It then cuts to a page showing Yugami without a partner for warm-up stretches on the baseball team. The coach's remark suggests that this is a common occurrence and that Yugami is quite disliked by his teammates, similar to what it's like in class. It contradicts the earlier message that his way of doing things is right, and that really he's in no better shape than Chihiro. The two events mirror each other, showing that both Yugami and Chihiro need to learn from one another. Chihiro needs to stand up for himself, and Yugami just needs to be nicer, even if he doesn't consider them as friends. The best part, though, has yet to come. Chihiro pays the price for cleaning late and is stuck biking home in the rain. Not wanting to trouble her friends, she waits at a bus station for the rain to end when Yugami appears with an umbrella. Now, based off what I've said so far, what do you think Yugami is going to do? Will he A. offer her his umbrella? B. offer to share the umbrella and walk home together? Or C. chastise her for not standing up for herself and walk away with his umbrella by himself? Now, in most manga, the option would usually be A or B. But if you answered C, you were right. Thinking that he's just an asshole, Chihiro goes to ride home in the rain before Yugami comes back again, this time with a newly bought umbrella. He asks to be paid back and, without a second thought, walks away, leaving Chihiro to walk home by herself, but dry with an umbrella. Who, I think, sums it up best by saying, Yugami isn't a bad person, he's just this kind of person. This chapter defines his personality perfectly, and exuberates why this manga is so unique. It takes generic plot points and pumps them out into comedic and interesting content through Yugami himself. Beyond the silly self-contained stories, like seen with the Umbrella incident, the first half of the manga serves to introduce and flesh out the extremely likable cast of characters. The clever part is each of them are introduced through Yugami himself, so we can see how he interacts with different types of people. There's Ryo, who, to everyone's shock, sent Yugami a love letter. Instead of gushing or fantasizing about it, like most main characters in a romance manga, he brainstorms on paper all the possibilities of what the letter could be. After a few more slice-of-life wacky manga events, it's revealed that Ryo had slightly misinterpreted who Yugami was, but still held strong about his warmth and his kindness, proving that his character traits do matter to people, and that he can be seen as good. The next character is his battery partner on the baseball team, Kadota, who is Yugami's polar opposite. Kind of fitting that he serves as his catcher. Being his underclassman, Kadota is forced to run countless errands and buy very specific brands of curry bread. If it's anything but the exact type of bread that Yugami wants, he's furious and forces Kadota to go back and get the right one. Although it makes him appear like an asshole, Kadota is spineless and does it willingly in support of his pitcher. Yugami would gladly go and buy the bread himself, but if someone else is willing to do it for him, why would he bother? On the opposite side of the field is Yugami's self-proclaimed rival, Hayashiyama. When Chihiro points out that he's glaring at Yugami, we're launched into a One-Piece level backstory about his hatred for a member of the other team. The trivial backstory is about a disagreement over the way Yugami ate as a child, which he still holds against him all these years later. After nearly half the chapter of backstory, it's revealed that Yugami held a grudge against a random player on the bench, and not his supposed rival pitcher who was glaring at him. It shows that he only remembers situations where his opinions are disagreed with, rather than who he competes with. Outside of these three, there's plenty of other characters who bounce off Yugami in strange ways. Some respect him, some despise him, and some are completely indifferent. But what they all agree on is that he's unpredictable and irrational, but in reality, he just runs on his own sense of logic. Take this sequence where his baseball club is nominating a new captain. Even though he's the star pitcher and undoubtedly carries the team, he has no desire to be the captain because, and I quote, "I don't want to be a captain. That's dumb. It's like working for free." The honor and respect never even crossed his mind. He pleases only himself. In Japanese society, where most conform to the huge pressure of social norms and taking responsibility, Yugami is an anomaly. In this instance, he's caught in a quarrel over an event in the cultural festival. After settling with rock, paper, scissors, he says, "No matter what I said, they wouldn't listen. I just wanted to settle this as quickly as possible." What looks to be a "I'm smarter than it seems" moment was actually just Yugami testing a theory that he only has good luck when he's by himself. Call back to the last chapter when he was unlucky in a group of people. Nearly every 40-page chapter contains some sort of unique twist that can only be described as Yugamiified, taking a normal situation and making it incredibly complicated, often based on astounding misunderstandings. That's what makes Yugami-kun Has No Friends so special, but undeniably the greatest aspect of this series is the relationship between the two main characters. Yugami's bluntness and Chihiro's kindness bounce off each other so well and are used in different ways, never get old. Their budding friendship highlighted and developed through little actions each chapter, slowly building up to a potential, but not really realized, romance. There's never any big event or confession. Things occur in a slow, natural way as the two truly begin to understand each other's tendencies. The Valentine's Day chapter opens with Yugami expressing his distaste of chocolate, focusing more on this trick magic box that he had hand-designed. Forgot to mention, but Yugami tends to pick up a lot of weird and strange hobbies, and at this part of the series, he was into woodworking. He even brings up how much he enjoys manju much better than chocolate. The rest of the cast enjoy a rather traditional slice of life Valentine's Day. Popular guys get attention and gloat over the nerds, feel-good moments between characters that are shipped together, little tricks to fool the kids that get lots of chocolate by the nerds, but the chapter ends with something else in Yugami's box. Manju from Chihiro. And this wasn't some big gesture of love, simply a sign of their friendship. Chihiro knows Yugami wouldn't accept a gift without return payment. We've explored this already in Chapter 18 when he bought her the umbrella, along with many other instances throughout the story. So she silently slips in his favorite treat, knowing without seeing that he'll be satisfied. In my opinion, this is the sign of true friendship. Knowing how to make the other person feel good through the things you know that they will enjoy. And it's this final lesson that Yugami learns through Chihiro to conclude the manga. Without any spoilers, Yugami is finally able to acknowledge Chihiro as a friend, but in his own way. He still maintains his strong values and opinions about friendship, but also realizes how important it is to be around people who care about you. If there's anything you should take away from this video, it's that this manga is unique. It's not something to be read, but rather it's something to be experienced. I can guarantee that the antics of Yugami and friends will make you smile, laugh, cry, and many other emotions you won't even expect. It really is a hidden gem that will change the way you approach your relationships.